We are. We're totally excited and talking about, eclipse things. I was looking on his Facebook page because we're talking all things eclipse this morning.
Definitely.
Yes. I feel like this is a very doomsday conversation.
Dum. Well, I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was an expert, and he pointed out that, it's been 38 years since we had an eclipse like this, and the darkness that you'll see from that eclipse on August the 21st probably won't occur again until around 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah, I get it. Haha, you're funny. Well, 9, maybe closer to 10 here, but because we get
another month from now.
Yeah, but I know we were talking about that. Some friends and I were talking about that the other day. It's going to be weird because in the morning we're going to have a sunset, I'm going to say it in quotes, a sunset, a dusk, and then
a sunrise,
and then a nighttime, and then a sunrise, all in the span of half an hour. It's going to be real weird.
Depending where you're at. The total eclipse will last anywhere from a few seconds to, in Tillamook County, a minute and a half.
Yeah.
If you go down south towards Lincoln County, Lincoln Beach, they'll be longer. Up to almost 2 minutes.
Yeah. So it's bizarre. It's a little bit like, I have not been, I just know from friends that have been, but Alaska during the wintertime, they get 2 weeks of darkness-ish.
I just went up there on a cruise here last month.
And it was light the whole time?
The sun went down after 10 o'clock and was up around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, weird.
It was crazy.
I imagine it'll be a little, because even when the sun starts coming up in Alaska, it's only up for like a minute. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's kind of the opposite of that.
Some of the locals told me that it comes up, towards the winter. It'll come up on the horizon, stay up for, an hour or so.
Yeah, and then go back
Never
down.
really up where it's bright.
Just
and
peaking.
Then just go back down again. It's got to be strange.
Very strange, but they're used to it.
Yeah.
They live there.
So anyway,
yes.
We're talking eclipse. A lot of stuff
As I
here.
have been trying to say all morning, the epoch eclipse. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
It took you a little practice.
I know, it did. I've been practicing it.
So the eclipse is basically a 90-mile wide area that's, for us, the top of it is going to be around Tierra del Mar. The center of it would be down towards Lincoln Beach, just south of Lincoln City. And then the southern edge would be just south of Wallport. The exact number of visitors that we're going to have coming into Tillamook County, or actually anywhere in the totality area, is really hard to pinpoint. But the tourism people are saying there's 1 million people. How many are we going to have? Who knows? I've talked to several cities, and they all say the hotels are booked.
So I was going to say, is that 1 million people kind of a generalization based on how many hotel rooms and vacation rentals have been booked? Is that kind of where they get a general idea?
I'm sure that they factored in as much as they could factor in. And, the reality is we really don't know. I do know the only thing that I could, quantify was I talked to Dale with the county parks and asked him how the booking would normally go this time of year. And he said, he named the parks, and he said they were around 70, 75% on these. Barview is 100% all the time in the summer. So,
right.
And I asked, well, what is it going to be for this? And he said, all of them are booked 100%.
Already.
And
probably have been for a while.
Yes. And, I talked to Rockaway yesterday and said, what about your hotels? And he said, they're all booked. So exactly how far north and south you have to go to find a hotel room for this, I can't tell you, but I do know that if you haven't made plans already for either a spot, a hotel, or something, you're too late. And you'll be coming over here, and your car is going to be your hotel for the day.
Sure.
It's going to be tough. So, again, all hotels, motels, campsites, they're all booked in the totality area and well outside of the totality area. Now, we know that this is already a prime time for tourism in the county. I was talking to the tourism lady, and she indicated to me that over 49% of the TRT money, which would be an indicator because that comes from hotel rentals.
Sure.
49% of the money comes in during that quarter.
Oh my gosh.
So that means almost half of the visitors in Tillamook County come in that
summertime
3-time period or 3-month period. So we're already going to be busy. So this is just going to add busier on top of busy. We're looking at actually probably going to capacity here in the county. And by that, I mean, the roads are going to be packed. The businesses are going to be packed. Everything's going to be packed from around Friday the 18th until Tuesday the 22nd.
Sure.
The day after it. Weather, of course, as you can tell today,
it's up in the air.
Right. I looked at the National Weather Service numbers, and the only ones that they offer climatology for was Astoria and Newport on the coast. And averaging the two told me that there's a 40% chance that what you see out there this morning will be there on August the 21st. Looking back at my own weather stuff from the emails that I send out every day, I started saving them since 2010. Last year, when we had that really crazy hot summer with no clouds and just unbelievable heat, was the only month that we had sunny skies. The rest of them, it was either fog and clouds or clouds and light rain. So the chances of seeing it are actually less than 50-50.
Because of the overcast skies. Yeah.
I mean, you'll know that it's here because it'll turn to nighttime briefly, but you won't be able to physically see it. Not that you should anyway directly.
Which we'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll get there, but you won't be seeing the sun directly.
Right. Which, if that happens, I mean, obviously it gets lighter in the morning. People will wake up and realize, oh no, we are not going to be able to see it. And then there's going to be, I imagine, a mass exodus out of town to try to get to the valley, I would think.
Last week I was over at Salem at the Office of Emergency Management. We were looking at an exercise type scenario for the eclipse. And what they threw at us was the morning of the eclipse in this exercise was cloudy, foggy. And so the next thing we got was the roads out of the coastal areas were jam-packed full of cars for people headed eastbound. And then at 9:30,
everybody got out of the
clouds cleared.
Oh, here.
And so they started turning around, and we had jam traffic going and coming.
Oh, man.
So that potential actually exists. That's not a far-fetched scenario. So the partial eclipse for our area starts a little after 9 o'clock, like around 9:05 or so.
And you mean here in the city of Tillamook area?
Anywhere along Tillamook County.
Yeah.
Again, depending on where you're at, the numbers will change a little bit, but just say for average sake, 9:05 it'll start. And those areas that are in the totality area will see that at around 10:15. And depending on, because if you can think about a ball and you draw a line directly across the ball, if you draw it through the middle, the line's pretty long.
Right.
But if you draw it across the top of the ball, it's pretty short.
Yeah.
So it's only going to last for about 36 seconds down in Tierra del Mar, the totality time. As you go south, it gets longer, about a minute down at Cape Kiwanda, a minute and a half if you get down towards Nescoin, and then the most you'll see is about a minute and 58 seconds if you're down in Lincoln Beach. And then the whole thing, it'll go back to partial, and then that's over at around 11:15. And then we're back to normal, whatever normal is.
You mean normal day?
Normal.
Nothing will be normal.
Right. Normal for sunshine.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, I've had people say, well, what are we going to see here in Tillamook? The sun will get 99% obscured here in Tillamook, up towards Manzanita, 98. And, of course, the further north or south you go from the totality area, the less the sun will be obscured. So you'll be able to see that it's blocked, assuming you've got your glasses on, because if you're looking at it without glasses, you're going to be blind.
And we should say not regular sunglasses. Those aren't appropriate.
No, I'll jump on over, skip down to the eye safety right now. Number one, you never look directly at the sun, even if it's partially obscured. Those dangerous rays are still getting through into your eyes. You have to wear the proper protection. When I wrote this a couple of months ago, there were 4 manufacturers that were certified properly for eclipse glasses, and what you're looking for is the ISO number written on the glasses. It should say an ISO, and that's the agency that's certifying that they're safe. So on there somewhere, there's an ISO. She's looking. She finally found it.
Yes, I have a pair with me that I'm looking at.
So Rainbow Symphony, American Paper Optics, Thousand Oak Optics, and TSC 17 happen to be the ones that were listed.
These are Rainbow Symphony.
There you go.
And I'll tell you, these are, we put them on today, and they are,
It's black.
you can't see anything, so don't be discouraged because you can't see anything right now when you put them on, when you look at the sun,
you'll be able to see
protected.
it. And I've had somebody that's told me already they looked at the sun through them and wow, the sun was orange. So
cool.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
skewing
true.
the
I should put
colors
them on
on
and
you.
look at the sun.
So yes, you can wear welder's goggles with it, but they have to be rated at 14 or higher. If you have less than that, then there's the potential to damage your eyes.
And regular sunglasses, again, not a good idea.
No, and
they're not.
Even these
protected.
come with a warning. Some people may put have a telescope, and they put the glasses on and then look through the telescope. The problem that you have is the telescope is focusing that in a different manner and could actually burn a hole in these things.
Oh my gosh.
And thus burn a hole in your eye.
Right.
So you don't want to do that. You want to put the protection on the outside, in other words, between the lens and the sun. Whatever it is that you're looking through, binoculars, telescope, whatever it is, it should be on the sun side of all the lenses. If you are looking through those special instruments, you should have special solar filter. A lot of them you can buy filters or come with filters. Been asked, how do I get the glasses? There are several places in Tillamook County, and I'm not going to try to name them all because some may have had it and then ran out, or some more may be added to it. But a lot of places in the Tillamook and surrounding areas, cities, are selling them. And I know of a few places like the library have been giving them out to people as well. I was told that Reinhardt Clinic, the health department, and some others will be handing them out during the fair. So the fair would be a good time
that's a good idea.
to pick you up some glasses. Now, suggestions, what do we need to do? Well, for residents and visitors, if you're coming into the area, and I'm just going to isolate this to Tillamook County. If you're coming into our county, be prepared for crowds. We have them already during that time of the year because of it's the summer season at the coast. But there's going to be long lines at all your retail establishments, eating restaurants, all those things. And, of course, having that number of people, it's going to be some crowded roads.
Yep.
Especially with all the construction that's going on, not only in Tillamook, but all around the area now.
Right.
ODOT said they will suspend all
construction
along
during that
any of their
weekend.
highways during that period, which is good. The other thing is be sure to fill up your jar of patience before you leave because you're going to need it. Again, you're going to have long lines at everything that you're trying to go to, up to and including bathrooms and restaurants and the cheese factory to get your ice cream. All those things are going to have really long lines. If you bring in the kids, I would suggest you bring some books, some games, something to keep them occupied while you're in those long lines. And having said that, there may be a time when you just say, doggone it, the lines are too long and there's no way to get any food. So I would suggest that you bring some snacks, some water, some first aid supplies in the car with you when you leave to come over here so that you can bypass those crowds and lines and traffic if you need to. While you have to admit Tillamook County has some of the most gorgeous coastline that I've ever seen anyway, it also has a few hazards. And so people, if they're up on the cliffs or if they're walking out into, if they're walking out into the forest, be alert because we have some surprise drop-offs and some canyons that are pretty steep, and there's a lot of ways that you can get hurt. And if you do get hurt, that could be a problem because, number one, are you in a phone zone around here? Cell phone coverage is not the best with all the different mountains that we have. So
well, and something else you mentioned in one of your Facebook posts was because of the amount of people that are here, our cell phone system is probably going to get a little overloaded.
Right.
And you might have some issues getting through even if you do have cell service.
I talked to a cell phone company years ago. I don't know that it's improved a great deal anyway, but they said they build an infrastructure to support 5% of their customer base.
Jeez.
That's not much. That means that if there's 100 people in a room and everybody hits the dial at the same time,
Only five
people are going to get
Wow.
a dial tone. The other 95 are going to get all circuits are busy. Please try again later. So if you're, just bad case scenario, if you're out in the woods and you accidentally get hurt, or you're wherever you are and you accidentally get hurt, number one, you may or may not be able to get a dial tone because you may or may not be in a phone zone, or it may be so crowded that you can't get a dial tone. That's your first problem. Second problem is you get through to 911 and we send an ambulance to you. It's going to be on those crowded roads that may or may not be moving.
Right.
And if they're not moving, that means it's going to take a long time to get to you. And once they get to you, and
they got to
do
get
what
back
they need
somewhere.
to do,
Yeah.
it's going to take just as long for them to get back to the hospital. So like I was telling some people at a talk I gave the other day, if you're taking the day off and you're going to stay home and treat it like a holiday, be careful at the barbecue grill. That's probably not a good time to go to work on the roof or something, because if you get hurt,
good point.
it's going to be a problem for you. Now, another concern that we have during that time is we're having some astronomical low and high tides. So people that aren't used to our beaches can come out here and either pitch a tent on the beach, what they're not supposed to do, or just lay out on the beach and go to sleep during the astronomical low tide. And then 5-6 hours later, they're going to say, oh, my goodness, I'm getting very cold and very wet. What is going on?
Here comes the high tide.
And here comes high tide.
Do you think that is related at all to the eclipse? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
It's all the moon. It's all about the moon. So it would have been an astronomical high tide.
Oh, okay. Even if there wasn't.
Way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people need to be aware that if you are out during low tide and you're walking around and the tide comes in, you could find yourself stuck on a sandbar out there.
What I'm thinking about is all those people that drive down on the beach, leave their car down there, and then go off somewhere, come back, and their car's half in the water.
Or gone. Nobody stole it. It's, oh, look, there it is out there.
Yeah.
Has anybody got a boat so I can go get my car? So there's a lot of potential there that could have a problem. The other thing that I'm worried about is people are going to be, visitors have come before and happened to have gone up in the logging roads with somebody.
Sure.
And so they say, oh, look, it's cloudy, foggy here. Let's jump on I went up this logging road a while back and we can see it from up there. And they go up there and watch the eclipse and then turn around to leave. And as they're coming down, they go, oh,
Wait.
no, did I go down that way or did I go down that way?
Right.
And next thing you know, when they can finally find cell service again, they call 911 and say, we're lost. Can you come get us?
But we don't know where we are.
We're lost. Oh, boy. So we've already talked about cell phones and the fact that first responders are going to have a hard time finding you. So, again, have an emergency kit and an emergency plan. Make sure you discuss it with your family. If you're coming over here, tell other family members what time you plan to be back so that if you're not back by that time,
and where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about TBCC,
I can breathe.
which I think I'm not committing to it, but I think they might have some eclipse glasses as well. Although I think they're getting close to the end of their summer session. Tillamook County has a growing need for medical assistants. If you are interested in becoming a medical assistant, you can be trained and certified in as little as 1 year by enrolling in Clatsop Community College's Medical Assisting Program, which starts this fall. Courses are taught on the Tillamook Bay Community College campus, and you can get trained as a medical assistant and earn a steady, well-paying job without leaving Tillamook County. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today by calling Holly at 338-2367. All participants must complete a background check, but this does not mean you have to have a sparkling clean background. A quick phone conversation with Holly can help determine if you are eligible. Again, that number is 338-2367 if you are interested in the medical assisting program at TBCC. So we're talking with Gordon this morning, Gordon McCraw, about eclipse.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
The sky is
falling.
there.
Well,
anyway.
The sky is dark.
Yeah, it's going to get dark. So we talked about the people. Let's talk about what employers should be looking towards.
Yeah.
Needless to say, there's going to be a large jump in customers. It would have been a decent jump anyway, but now we're going to be at what I call capacity. That means grocery stores, gas stations, hotels, restaurants, transportation services, coffee shops, retail stores, even the urgent care clinics. All of these are going to see a jump in business, and I recommend that they order goods and schedule staff accordingly. Be aware that
Right,
many
because you're not going to
visitors-
be able to get stuff. I mean, if it's Saturday afternoon, you're not going to be able to get anything.
Yeah, you should.
Even if you could normally get it, they're not going to be able to get out here.
Right. If you have scheduled deliveries during any time that weekend or that Monday, there's a good chance that they wouldn't be able to get to you either way. Be aware that many visitors are going to come and be camping in both authorized and unauthorized locations. There's actually been several campsites that popped up just to do this eclipse thing. You're going to have customers that come in and say, please, 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 can I use the bathroom? I've been on the road for, 4 hours trying to get here when it only took me an hour to get here before.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago.
So can I use your bathroom? So try to be good to them. Encourage your own employees to have a full tank of gas.
Yeah, I think everybody should have a full tank of gas.
Right. Well, obviously we would encourage anybody that's coming into the area, come in with a full tank. That way you don't have to get into the long lines at the gas stations that probably will be here. And the same goes for the employees. Be prepared for more cash transactions because your dial-up card thing may not be working properly either with all the phones being jammed. Same again, be aware that the cell phone coverage could be disrupted and that your telephone company could have more volume than it's capable of handling. And like you mentioned, talk to your suppliers, have them considering delivery schedule changes to work around the eclipse event. That way you have it on hand. You can't sell what you don't have.
Right.
Now, last week, July the 20th, I had a meeting at 911 with all the various agencies that may have a task in this eclipse, and I'll just run through the list of notes that I made so that everybody knows what everybody's doing. Sheldon Oil was there. They said they're going to increase deliveries and start topping off all the grades effective August the 1st. So normally they would wait until they reached a certain level before they'd fill it up. This time when they come in, they're filling all the tanks up. They've got spare tanks, a 20,000-gallon tank over at their facility that they don't normally have topped off. They're going to top it off so that they are sure that they've got enough fuel in Tillamook County to accommodate all the visitors that are going to be here. And they're going to try during that time frame to make their deliveries very early in the morning so that they're off the road before the traffic really gets bad. The Forest Service says that their Hebo office is going to be open over that weekend from 8 to 4. Their people are going to be handling the roads up to the Hebo. The road itself is going to be closed from the campsite up to the top of Hebo. It's by permit only. You have to buy a permit, and they've got 90 sold so far at this meeting. I'm not sure what the maximum number that they're going to sell is. Of course, they're anticipating that Sand Lake, which is right on the fringe, is just going to be slammed, which it would have been anyway. And Cascade Head, they're going to close it over the weekend from 7 at night to 7 in the morning. And then Eclipse Day, they're going to open it at 6, but they're going to limit it to the first 100 vehicles to make sure we don't exceed capacity in that area. The state police are going to have increased manning from the Wednesday before to the Wednesday after. They're going to have 2 all-patrol days, which are Friday and Monday, which means everybody's going to be on the street.
Yep.
They're not bringing in extra people into Tillamook or Lincoln County. They said past history shows them that wherever they put them, invariably they're in the wrong spot, and then they have a hard time getting to where they need to be. They will be shifting their patrolmen up in Clatsop County further south so that if we need them, they're closer to the county road. The county road, speaking of that, they're going to have extra signs in the South County shop. You can anticipate that there are going to be some roads down in South County that will be closed. The sheriff said Circle Drive probably being one of them down there. And then there's going to be a whole lot of no parking signs.
People, I'm sure.
Please need to be cognizant of where you're at. Don't infringe on other people's property. Don't be parking in their yard or in their driveway, blocking them in, or any place that is no parking, it's no parking. They're going to have a couple of employees in South County. And remember, too, that the Highway 6 101 interchange traffic pattern is changing, and I'm understanding that it might not be the most favorable change at that time, but that is going to be affecting traffic, as is the fact that on Miami Foley Road, the Loman Bridge is going to be down to one lane still.
Well, it is. Yeah, it is one lane now.
Yeah. It's still going to be that way. The Tillamook Regional Medical Center is going to have their clinic in South County is going to be open from Thursday until Tuesday. That Thursday before until Tuesday after the eclipse, with the exception of Saturday. They're always closed on Saturday. And they're bringing in extra physician or physician assistant so that it could be considered an urgent care facility, which is normally just a clinic.
Yeah.
They'll have all the same urgent care capabilities that they do here in town, with the exception of x-rays. And of course, if the roads are jammed and they have a emergency transport, it's probably going to be going by helicopter.
Oh, sure.
You know, you got to get there quick, and the roads are jammed. Too bad. You're going to take an airplane. The 911 district people, they're going to have more people on staff. Even their admin staff will be in helping. And we're making some channel changes because we anticipate that the radio frequency is going to be overloaded. I talked to the transportation people, the buses. They said you can just, if you're a normal bus driver, a normal bus user in Tillamook County, you can anticipate there will be delays. And if the route is on a route that they know is jammed and gridlocked and is not moving,
they're not taking.
He said there's no point in putting people on a bus and then just housing them there for several hours.
Right, they can just walk.
Right.
Be faster.
So they're not going to run, if it's gridlocked, they're not going to run the routes down those gridlocks, which means the one that they know for sure is going to be at most risk is the Tillamook to Lincoln City route.
Yeah.
Because even though it may not be totally jammed here, it is going to be crazy down in Lincoln County. He said they will reroute some if they can find a way, and they'll get the word out as best they can that they're rerouting, but just expect some delays. ODF, of course, their mission is to try to prevent all the forest fires potentials that we're going to have, which, you know, we're not as big a risk as they are in central and eastern Oregon.
Right.
They've got forest fires now from the lightning storms that they had over the last few days. And again, they're the same as the state police. They're bringing extra people in, but they're not really concentrating them in where they think they need them, because invariably that's not where they need them. They need them not there, but over here.
Right.
And then with the roads conditions being the way they are, they're not sure if they can move them. And so the other thing that I thought was glad you don't work for the forestry people is they realize that there's no hotel or motels rooms for these guys.
The extra people.
So they're going to be camping out.
Oh, poor guys.
Just like they would on a fire.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Well, at least they have a plan.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And, you know, if by some quirk you think you're going to go over in the valley, know that ODOT is really, really concerned about all of the highways, especially like I-5. They said that their concern there is traffic is going to be bumper to bumper from north to south. And then at 10 o'clock when the eclipse starts, everybody's just going to pull over to the side of the road or stop or whatever. So you've got hundreds of thousands of vehicles on an interstate highway that all come to a screeching halt. Once it's over with,
they're all going to try to get back on.
They're all going to try to get back on, and it's just going to be a slow travel.
Apparently on Twitter, it is a trending, because the or eclipse hashtag or whatever. And apparently there's a lot of people from Seattle that think they're going to leave super, super early Monday morning and just drive down here.
Good luck
leave
with
like
that.
at 1 o'clock in the morning too. I'm like, okay, well, have fun with that.
Well, several things you can watch. Of course, I'm posting as much as I can every day on my Facebook page, Gordon's Tillamook Weather Center. I also have a Twitter page that it automatically feeds to. That's GAM Weather. And I'm not putting anything other than weather on my website. And I'm just running around. I'm getting some help from the Forestry Center PIO, who's going around to different organizations and giving talks as well. But we're just trying to get as much information out to everybody so that you are prepared. What I'm telling most people here that aren't really interested in the eclipse is you just need to shelter in place.
Right.
Which means you want to get your stuff for the week, probably no later than Thursday of the week of the eclipse, and just plan on not going anywhere until Tuesday.
Yep.
We're not sure, I suspect that you're going to have a large outflux in the afternoon of that Monday. And then there's going to be people that book their hotel all the way through Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, there's a potential to have another massive exodus.
Yep.
So again, not only do the people that come here need to bring an extra jar of patience, but we here in Tillamook County need to be patient. We all just need
an extra jar.
We need an extra
because we need the extra for the summer travel anyway.
Get a great big old 55-gallon drum of it and spread it around. Be patient and have a good time. Make it it's going to be a 3-day holiday, right? Basically, except for those of us. I can tell you that we're developing an incident action plan. I'll be at 911. Doing stuff as the incident commander. The sheriff and the criminal lieutenant will be down in Pacific City because, of course, we anticipate that that's going to be the old boy area.
Right.
The commissioners, one's going to actually be at the governor's place. She invited him over. Bill Bartline has been invited to come over and watch it from the governor's place, and he's going to do that. David Yokomoto will be down in Pacific City, which is
where he lives.
Right. And then Tim is going to be at the courthouse, and he and I will stay in close contact. And if things get a little too crazy, he'll come over to 911 and give me a hand.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's office has already put we have a big communications trailer down in Pacific City, and that'll be up and activated and running. We'll have extra staff on hand, and it's just going to be, again, the reality is we really don't know how bad it's going to be. So we're just preparing as best we can.
Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
That's the one.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. Well, I know you said a whole hour's worth of stuff. We probably could talk for another half an hour if we needed to.
Easy.
Yeah, I know.
If I talk slower.
Let's see. Tomorrow we'll have the Port of Garibaldi on. Don't forget senior meals, noon every weekday at the Kayawanda Community Center in Pacific City, as well as the Tillamook Senior Center at 4th and Stillwell. Cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. This is the last weekend to see 2 great productions in our community. Tapa has To Kill a Mockingbird performances Friday and Saturday at 7 at the Barn Theater by Les Schwab. And they've also added a Sunday show at 2 because the Friday and Saturday shows sold out on Monday. So if you are interested in seeing it and didn't get tickets, call Diamond Art Jewelers ASAP. It's 842-7940. Tickets are $15 a person, and there are tickets available for the Sunday show at 2 p.m. Rising Tide Productions also has their closing performances of Doubt, a Parable, Friday and Saturday at 7. Friday and Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2 at the NCRD in Nehalem. Tickets are $20 at the door. And on Saturday, the Derby Dames, which is the roller derby club in Tillamook, is having a dance party at the Pelican Bottling Warehouse at Front Street and Grove Street. It starts at 7 p.m. Admission is $5. Kids 12 and under are free. They'll have food, a dance, and swag gifts to give away. On this weekend, our farmers markets, we have Friday in Manzanita from 6 to 8, Saturday in Tillamook from 9 to 2, also Saturday in Nescoin from 9 to 1, and Sunday in Pacific City from 10 to 2. Gordon, thanks for all the good information about the eclipse.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Tillamook, for listening.